Hello and welcome to another speaking practice video. Today we're going to practice having a real conversation together. This is not a listening video. I want you to speak out loud with me. Don't just think of the answers in your head, actually say them, and don't worry if you make mistakes. The more you practice speaking, the more confident you'll feel. So this is how the video will work. First, I will ask you some daily conversation questions, and you will pause the video and give your answer, speaking out loud. Then I will answer the same questions, and you can listen to the grammar and vocabulary that I use. Next, I will explain the grammar that I used, and today we'll focus on tenses, whether we're talking in the present or the past, or the future. I'll explain step by step which tenses I used and why. Finally, you will have another chance to answer the same questions again. This time you can improve your grammar and vocabulary in your answer and hopefully feel more confident. This is a great opportunity to improve your English speaking fluency. So if you're ready, let's get started. So remember, after each question, pause the video and give yourself a chance to answer. There are going to be 5 questions in total. Let's get started with question number 1. What did you eat for breakfast today? Question 2. What do you usually do at the weekend? Question 3. Tell me about a friend you enjoy spending time with. Question 4. What are you going to do later tonight? And the final question, where would you like to travel to in the future? Well done. Now let's move on to part 2 of the video. I am going to answer the same questions. As you listen to my answers, try to notice which tenses I use. Am I talking in the past, the present, or the future? Also pay attention to any useful vocabulary you hear me use. Here we go with question number 1. What did you eat for breakfast today? I had a slice of toast with butter and a cup of tea. I ate something simple this morning because I didn't have much time. Later in the morning, though, I had some fruit because I was still hungry. Let's look at the grammar I used in my answer. The question said, what did you have for breakfast this morning? So it's asking about something that happened in the past. So in our answer, we need to use the past simple tense. Did you notice the verbs that I used? I said, I had a slice of toast. I ate something simple. I didn't have much time. And then I said later in the morning, I had some fruit because I was still hungry. So when you give your answer to this question, make sure you're using the past simple tense. Now for question 2. What do you usually do at the weekend? At the weekend, I always try to relax after a busy week. I usually go for a walk in the park with my dogs and my husband. We like to grab a coffee and sit outside if the weather is nice. Sometimes we visit family or cook a big lunch together. So in this question, I'm asking about routines or habits. So we need to use the present simple tense. I also used some adverbs of frequency to say how often I do things. Let's take a look. I said I always try to relax. I usually go for a walk. Sometimes we visit family. So when you answer this question again, try to use some of those words to say how often you do things. Always, usually, sometimes. Now moving on to question number 3. Tell me about a friend you enjoy spending time with. One of my close friends is called Kate. She's really funny and always makes me laugh. We enjoy going shopping together and meeting for a coffee at the weekend. I like spending time with her because she's easy to talk to and always supports me. Let's take a look at some useful phrases I used in my answer. I said she always makes me laugh. This is a good phrase for a friend who is funny, but you can use that phrase makes me for other things as well. For example, she makes me happy, or she makes me feel supported, or she makes me feel listened to. I also talked about what we enjoy doing. Notice that after enjoy, I have to use the ing form. We enjoy going shopping. We enjoy meeting for a coffee. So when you give your answer to this question, try saying what you enjoy doing with your friend and make sure you use the ing form. If you're enjoying this video, please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more speaking practice videos just like this one. Now let's get back to our speaking practice. Now let's move on to question number 4. What are you going to do later tonight? After work, I'm going to cook dinner, then relax on the sofa. Later, I'll go for a short walk if the weather is nice. I might also watch a series on Netflix before I go to bed. With this question, we're asking about the future. What are you going to do? What are your plans? So usually when we're asking about plans, we can use going to or will. For example, I said, I'm going to cook dinner. After going to, we always use the simple form of the verb. I'm going to cook. I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to read a book. I also used another form of the future tense, will. I said later, I'll go for a walk if the weather is nice. I used will here because it's not a fixed plan. Usually when it's a fixed plan, we use going to. I'm going to cook dinner. But because this depends on the weather, I'm not so sure. It's not a set plan, so I used will instead. I will or I'll go for a walk if the weather is nice. I also said I might watch Netflix. Might means maybe. We're not talking about a fixed plan. It's something that maybe I will do it, but maybe I won't. I might watch Netflix tonight. So when you answer this question, try using the future tenses will and going to, or might if you have an uncertain plan. Now for our final question. Where would you like to travel in the future? I would love to travel to Japan. I want to see the famous cherry blossom trees and try some traditional Japanese food. If I had the chance, I would stay for 2 weeks and travel around the whole country. So this question uses the word would. Where would you like to travel in the future? We're using would like to express a preference. It's not a definite plan, it's just something we want to do. I said I would love to travel to Japan. I also said if I had the chance, I would stay for 2 weeks. Here I'm using a conditional sentence, and this is a hypothetical conditional sentence. It's not a fixed plan. I don't have a particular plan to go to Japan. I'm just thinking or dreaming in my head. If I had the chance, I would stay for 2 weeks. So when you answer that question, try to use that hypothetical would to give your answer. So now on to the next part of the video, which is your chance to answer those questions again and really pay attention to your grammar. Think of all the things we looked at in my answers and try to use this in your own responses. So here we go again. I'll ask you the questions, pause the video and give yourself time to answer. What did you eat for breakfast today? Question 2. What do you usually do at the weekend? Question 3. Tell me about a friend you enjoy spending time with. Question 4. What are you going to do later tonight? And the final question, where would you like to travel to in the future? Well done for speaking out loud today. Remember, the more you practice speaking, the more confident you will become. And if you really want to improve your answers, try watching this video again tomorrow and see how much more fluent you are. If you're looking for some more speaking practice, then I recommend you join me in this video next.